Rebecca and I keep running into each other all over the place. I love the message. Even, I know a little something about taxes. She scares the hell out of me. She's let's give Rebecca another hand, please, everybody. Again, if you were really listening to me this morning, people like Rebecca are the future of our industry. I love to see a fantastically powerful woman saying, hey, we can help you, we can serve you. We need to encourage that in our industry as much as we can. Okay, a couple of promises I made to you. First, all the multi-line agents in here, I'm going to show you a presentation right now that you'll be able to go home and kill. I'm not kidding you. You'll be able to call on everybody in your book when you get back. Next, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of great questions. Spectacular, wonderful, lovely questions that you'll be able to use to build yourself a whole mess of appointments the minute you leave this meeting. I don't believe in 6 months or a year. I'm talking days or weeks, even hours if you'll try the stuff that we're going to share with you. Other thing, very important. I love all the people like the LEAP program. I love Circle of Wealth. I love Be Your Own Banker, Bank on Yourself, all of those. They're all my friends. I've studied their programs and everything, and I'm going to surprise you with a little something. I'm going to show you how to do every one of those programs in 5 questions. Anybody be interested? Raise your hand if you'd be interested. See, again, remember, the secret is simplicity. Some of this stuff is just too complex, and some of this stuff takes too long. Let me ask you a couple of questions, if it's okay. What is the current attention span of an American? Brand new study. They just finished it. It's 8 seconds. Exactly right, 8 seconds. Now, they asked in the study, they determined what the attention span of a goldfish was. What did they come up with? 9 seconds. Now, you know what? That all sounds anecdotal, don't it? You sit in an audience and you hear a speaker talk about stuff like that and you go, oh my God, come on, that can't be true. So let me ask you something that you can really tie that information to. Are you ready? How many in here still read books? Raise your hand if you still read books. Do you ever get to the bottom of a page and cannot remember what you've read? That's your attention span. And yet you want to go and give all these spectacular 9-hour sales presentations, and they have slept through the entire thing, and they did not understand one single thing you said. That was what I was trying to say this morning. If you can figure out a way to simplify all this amazing information. When she showed you that debt clock, please, you listen to me. That's one of my most amazing tools. If you look at that debt clock, it showed you up there, if you were really paying attention. It says there are 6 million people officially unemployed. It says there are almost 12 million people who are actually unemployed. So the unemployment rate isn't any 3%. It's more like 7 or 8%. However, here's how they do the figuring, the calculating. Once you no longer get an unemployment check, you're not considered to be unemployed in America. Here's another one. If you saw the clock, really listen to what she's telling. Now, I'm going to have some fun with what Rebecca told you. Watch, you're going to laugh like crazy because she told you gold. She gave you gold if you don't leave here using it. But I'm going to talk out of both sides of my face. Watch. When she showed you that debt clock, it shows you that the GDP of the country is $21 trillion. And if you paid attention to what it says at the federal level, we collect $3.4 trillion of taxes. Corporate taxes, income taxes, sales taxes, whatever, at the corporate level. We collect another $3.2 trillion of taxes at the federal and at the state and local level of taxes. And then we don't include as taxes fees, levies, licenses, all of those. Aren't those really taxes? So if you calculate the number, it's $7 trillion. So already out of the $21 trillion of goods and services that we all create, $7 trillion is already going to income taxes. 33% of everything that we do is going to taxes. Now, please understand, government is nothing but a transfer agent. They transfer the money from one group, take a fee out for doing it, and transfer it to another group. And raise your hand if you don't always agree who they transfer it to. Do you understand? They're a transfer agent. That's all. The government doesn't make anything, doesn't create anything. So you have to understand, watch, I'm going to, please, and really listen to me carefully, because if you get this, it's killer. We can't raise taxes. Sounds counterintuitive to what Rebecca said, right? There's no way, because if we have any more taxes, we no longer have an economy that will work. It'll be a socialist economy. There's never been a socialist economy on planet Earth that's ever worked. So what are they doing? If you're really paying attention, they're changing who's going to pay the taxes. And so less and less Americans are paying taxes now, and fewer Americans are paying taxes. So they're still going to go and make those people that are paying the taxes pay more. And if you don't get in front of them without understanding what they're doing, the people that are running our country are going to destroy our country. And you guys don't get it. You think all you are is insurance and financial advisors. You are not. You are the opportunity to offset the ridiculousness of who is leading our country right now. And when I say right now, I'm talking for the past 25 years. I hate them all. I hate Republicans. I hate Democrats. Watch. I really hate independents because the suckers can't make up their minds. I don't believe government is the solution. I believe you are the solution. You're the most amazing people we have ever had in the industry. It is such an exciting time. So I want you to understand, if you know how to use information like that, you can really inspire somebody. Do you understand? God borrows money from this man here. You do get that. And so when the government is going to come and need more money, are they coming after Rick? Yes or no? Bet your life they are. So they're changing it from the lower end. And see, somebody came to me and asked me before, well, aren't January 1st of 2026, aren't they changing the law back? Yes, they are, but not for the lower end. The lower end will still have progressive tax rates. It's the people in the upper and then the high end that are about to get slaughtered in our country. And we have the ability to give them back their control of what's going to happen. That's what makes this so exciting. And you can do this very, very easily. By the way, really quick while I'm thinking about this, there's a great movie out of which I'm a part of. It's a feature-length movie called The Power of Zero, The Tax Train is Coming. Get it and watch it. It's one of the most amazing movies you will ever see. It's just spectacular, and it's an easy way to share with your customers what's coming income tax-wise. By the way, another thing I want to give you, everybody's talking about giving you stuff. First, I think the three most important people in the insurance and financial services industry. Number one, Ed Slott. Write that name down, Ed Slott, S-L-O-T-T. He says on public television, listen to this, on public television, he is vetted by public television. He says the number one benefit in the entire income tax code is cash value life insurance. It is the number one benefit. Everybody should be thinking about transferring as much money as they can get into these programs as possible, because once the money's in there, it can never be income taxed again, if set up correctly. Number two, my hero, Tom Hagna. Tom Hagna has taught all of us that the secret of successful planning is not about building assets, but it's about building guaranteed income in retirement that you cannot outlive. And he talks about it in his own family. One part of his family had assets and one had income. The one that had income is happy out of their minds, and the one that had assets lost them. And third, David McKnight, The Power of Zero. Showing you how to reduce people to pay lower income tax rates. Now, David is my friend. When he lives in he's a resident of he's a resident of Puerto Rico. But when he's in the United States, he lives in Mequon, which is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we're buddies. I adore the man. But I've been doing the damn Power of Zero for 25 years, and he wrote a book 4 years ago, and everybody thinks he thought of it. And I tease him about it all the time. He's such a great writer. This movie, The Power of Zero, The Tax Train is Coming. It's fabulous. It'll help you make sales. Third party helps you make sales. Because then it's not you, it's somebody else saying, hey, should you take a look at this? Okay? So please, one other thing, really quick. Because one of the things that my wife yells at me all the time, I'm not very good at selling my stuff. I have my CDs here. Please, the secret of success in our business is 3 words. Repetition, repetition, repetition. There's nobody, not me, not anybody, who can turn your career around or get you going in the right direction in 1 speech, or 2 speeches, or 5 speeches. But if you listen on a regular basis, and you can call me, my phone numbers are on all my CDs, you can call me anytime, I want to help, and you ask, there's agents in here who will tell you that I pick up the phone. Finally, here's the treat that you guys are getting because you're members of NAIFA. If you go to vanmueller.com, just my name, VANMUELLER.com, and you click on About, underneath it says, it asks some information, your email address and your name, and then I want you to write in these words. May I please have the 40 questions? May I please have the 40 questions? We will send you the 40 questions for free. You don't have to buy anything. The second deal that we give you, if you do decide that you want to buy the CDs, that you do want to sign up for the newsletter, anybody who signs up for August's newsletter will get December, January, and February for free. He was showing me, tell him how much it increased your production. Those 3, a lot. And it's using a simplified version of David's Power of Zero. And I show you how to make sales at every level. And tomorrow, I'm actually going to show you some of those actual sales when we're doing this tomorrow, because I want you to be able to leave this room, go home from this meeting, and make sales right away and help people be in control of their financial future. Okay. Multi-line agents, raise your hands, please. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back home, and I want you to call everybody in your book, and here's what I want you to say to them. Saw this guy, Van Mueller, and he scared the bejesus out of me. And I'm sitting there thinking about things, and I went, oh my God, I have to call Joe, Mabel, Jeffrey, because I was really just blown away by what he talked about. And while I'm sitting there, watch this, you guys, you were the first person I thought of, even if it's the 100th person. You say, you were the first person I thought of. And here's why I wanted to call you. It's a way to kill a whole bunch of birds with one stone, and I'll repeat it, but I want to show you how fast I do it. I can do it conversationally. We're so grateful for your loyalty to us and to what we're trying to do to serve you, and the only way we know how to say thank you is when we hear information like this. Instead of going out and talking to new people, we thought it would be really important if we got in front of you, and all we're going to do is ask you 3 things. Watch how fast. First, are you aware that all this bad stuff is about to happen? See, we assume people are aware. They're not. They can't even believe that the Cleveland Browns are still not going to win a game. No, you're laughing, but people have their own stuff that they're into. You get it? It's not about, we keep thinking, well, wouldn't they be worried about this? No, they don't even know. So are you aware all this stuff is going to happen? Number 2, gosh, what if you could be kept safe from it? It's the only way we know how to say thank you. We're so worried about you. We wanted to make sure that, are you aware? And second of all, what if you didn't have to be harmed by it? Wouldn't that be amazing? See, and then you set them up for the kill. Here's the kill. That's not good enough. I call it falling on my own sword. I take the blade. That's not good enough either. Because if all I do is keep you safe the rest of your life, you're never going to achieve your financial or your retirement goals. So here's the surprise. Are you ready? That's how I talk to them on the phone. Are you ready? What if every time these bad things happen for the rest of your life, you'd actually be in a position to take advantage of them? Wouldn't that be worth knowing about? And it's the only way we know how to say thank you to you for your wonderful loyalty. Do you guys like it? Come on, talk to me. It's easy to learn. It just takes a teeny little bit of practice. And you go home and you can literally call on everybody in your book. It's a way to say thank you. We don't say thank you to our customers enough. We teach this to State Farm agents, Allstate agents, American National agents, Farm Bureau, farmers. Nationwide is on your side. Do you understand? Once they understand, because what's happening, really think about what Rebecca was talking to you about up here. If interest rates are at 0, literally 0, many places around the world, -0. How are insurance companies going to make any money off of their car and homeowners premiums? They're not. They desperately need you to sell profitable business called life insurance and annuities. They desperately need you to do it. You're building a foundation that allows them to be successful as an insurance company and allows you to be successful as an insurance and financial professional. So again, here's what you do. You call them on the phone, you say, and you know why you use me, you guys? I want you to use me. Because you say, saw this guy Van Mueller. And you tell them, Google him. If you go and Google me, there's 6 or 7 pages. And there's speeches and there's all kinds of ridiculousness. But they'll see I'm a real person. You don't ever want to lie to a prospect or client, ever. So you say, I saw this guy Van Mueller, and he just scared the dickens out of me, and I'm sitting there thinking, God, I can't wait to get home because I want to thank the people that have been so loyal to our agency, and you were one of the first people I thought of. And we'll even tell you ahead of time what we want to ask you about. We want to make sure, are you aware, do you know all this stuff is coming? Second, very, very important. Do you understand that you could be kept safe from it? But even being kept safe isn't good enough. What if you could actually take advantage of it? Wouldn't that be wonderful information? See, people don't buy, remember I said this morning, people don't buy bad news. They buy access to opportunity. They're so tired of the bad news, fake news, everybody fighting with everybody. And you show up and you tell them there's nothing to worry about. All you got to do is have a strategy. All you got to do is have a plan. Do you understand? It makes you stand out from everybody else. Bad news doesn't sell anything. Okay? So, how do I get all these appointments, you guys? I've learned to ask all kinds of questions. Why did I give you that information I gave you this morning about Social Security? Everybody look at me. Everybody stop writing and look at me. You don't have to write these questions down. You only have to write the number because you're going to get them for free, aren't you? At vanmiller.com, click on About and ask, may I please have the 40 questions? So the hottest question in the history of our business. Hot. Ready? Watch. It's hot. Hot. Question number 1. Stas, what's the best age to take your Social Security? You get to choose between age 62 and 70. What's the best age? 70. Can I ask you something? Didn't you cost you and your family hundreds of thousands in lost benefits if you die at age 62? Now will you say the other one? Say 62. If you live till you're 90 years old, Stas, didn't it cost you and your family hundreds of thousands in lost benefits? Now, you're laughing, but they have done studies. I put it in my last newsletter. 96% of Americans take Social Security to their detriment, not to their benefit. 96%. This is a big deal. And you guys, how long have you been in the business? Short time? You haven't missed it. There's 140 million people going to turn 65. You think that's a good prospect base? Oh my God! You haven't missed it. You're right at the very forefront, and you know the exact right question to ask. What's the best age to take your Social Security? 96% of Americans take it to their detriment, not their benefit. Want to know what please, I'll raise my hand first. I'm a dead bang analytical. I read 14 newspapers a day, 250 periodicals a month, and I get 50 Google alerts a day with 20 articles on each Google alert. I read 1,000 articles a day. I'm an analytical, do you get it? Now, how many people will admit in here to being an analytical? Raise your hand. Now take a gun out and kill that part of you. It doesn't work. The only place to be an analytical is at home in private, not ever in front of a customer, ever. So here, watch this. This is very, very important. Do you know every single study that's come up, brand new one from Stanford says, everybody in America should defer until age 70. Now, why would they say that? Because, listen to this math. A man who makes it to age 65, remember, not from birth, a man who makes it to age 65 has a life expectancy of 86. A woman who makes it to age 65 has a life expectancy of almost 89 years old. Watch this. A married couple who make it to age 65, there is a 50% chance that one of them will live till 95 years old. There is a reason to stay married. The wealthiest people in our country are the ones that have figured out how to stay married, and they get the best results from their Social Security. Study after study. Now, very important. Is there a break-even age? And the answer is yes, of course there is. There's a mathematical break-even age. Whether you take it at 62 or you take it at 70, somewhere between 78 and 80 is the break-even age. So, what would be a couple of questions that we should ask you? First of all, are your mom and dad still alive? How old are they? Yeah. How old were they when they passed? Wow. And do you have any physical ailments that would shorten your life expectancy that you know of? So in his situation, we might want to talk about taking it at 62 rather than at 70. No, but do you get where I'm going? How many people do you know go through a process like that? And wouldn't they think you're amazing if you sat down and did that with them? And it brings up all the other discussions about all their money, all their stuff. And you didn't ask them, can I see all your money, all your stuff? You're asking them, hey, what's the best age to take your Social? And by the way, what is the finest annuity in America? The finest annuity, there's nothing even close to it. Ready? Social Security. Isn't that amazing? We don't know that as an industry. It is the finest annuity ever created. Social Security. Question number 2. I walk up to, please, I'm going to actually skip question number 2 because I don't have time. I'm running out of time here. But if you call me on the phone, I love talking about this stuff, and I'll tell you it. I ask people all the time, is any of your Social Security inheritable? And I know the answer, but I say, man, is any of your Social Security inheritable? They say, man, I don't know. I say, is there any way to find out? Well, what do you think we should do? Can we Google, is any of your Social Security inheritable? And it sends you to ssa.gov, and you go there, and what do you find out? $255. I just made a $25,000 a year life sale to a woman that I learned from Tom Hegna. I sold a joint annuity to her and her mom. So when she retired, her pension and that annuity were enough, we were able to defer her Social Security. 62, she retired. 65 years old, I walked into her house with this question. I said, man, can I ask you a dumb question? Because I'm really worried about this. I think I've given you bad advice. I fell on my sword. I said, man, if all of a sudden you die at age 65 and you haven't taken any of your Social Security, can I ask you something? Is any of it inheritable? She said, I don't know. We went through the process. She said, oh my God. I said, what if we could make some of your Social Security inheritable? Wouldn't that be amazing? And it turned out her Social Security at 65 was $2,200 a month. She didn't need it. We bought a cash value life insurance policy that we put $2,200 a month into. I said, you know what'll happen? You'll put $25,000 a year into this. Now watch, everybody really listen, because I'm going to play a trick on you here. Ready? Everybody look at me, listen. If you give me $25,000 a year in a cash value life insurance policy, I don't care what kind. At the end of 10 years, you'll have $250,000 in cash value. Will I be pretty close? How much did I tell them they'll make? Answer me. Nothing. Stop lying. They aren't going to make anything. Nothing, zero, nada. You know what they say to me? They say, Van, sounds like it didn't make anything. I said, yeah, you know, you'd think that, but could I ask you a question? Didn't you just take $250,000 of forever tax money and turn it into $250,000 of never tax money? And what do you think we could do with that? And didn't we create a face amount of $400,000, $500,000 a face amount? Now, let me ask you something. Doesn't that mean we can use all your other money while you're alive and enhance your retirement now? And the day you die, your Social Security that you turned into an inheritable asset, won't that be a thing to replenish all that you spent while you were alive? What do you think she said? Did she care that it didn't make anything for 10 years? No! And if that's all there was, you should buy this right now. But that's not all there is, because my plan doesn't have to go through probate. My plan is incontestable and private. My plan can be controlled from the grave. My plan has creditor and predator protection, and my plan has Medicaid versatility. I can convert it from a lump sum asset into an income stream, and if you get Alzheimer's, I still got a chance to keep some of that money in your family. Now, do you know anything else in the world that can do what I just talked about? They don't know. I can't remember, she said. Isn't that cute? Third question. This is hotter than a pistol. You got to help me. Don't be a smart aleck agent. I'm running out of time. You. What if I could show you a way that you could be the beneficiary of your own life insurance while you were still alive? Wouldn't that be interesting to find out about? What do most people think you have to do to collect on your life insurance? Yeah. What's the number one benefit of life insurance? Isn't it paying and providing benefits while you're alive? Access to tax-free money that you can invest anytime you want, any place you want. You can take advantage of all of these things that Rebecca was showing you. By the way, remember when she showed you that real high peak? If the market goes down 50%, it takes you right back to where it was in 2007. You will lose 12 years of return, and it's going to happen in 90 to 120 days. Mark my words. This is fake. This is a fake bull market. Fake. 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 My favorite question. Will you help me? You tell me the truth. I've been doing this a long time and I'm curious. Tell me honest. Is there somebody at the Internal Revenue Service that you're just so madly in love with that you decide you want to leave them a whole bunch of your money? See, people laugh like she did. They laugh. Nervous, but they laugh. Do you know that in America, if you have a 401k, an IRA, 403b, 457 plan, and you have 2 or more non-spouse beneficiaries, it's highly likely that the primary beneficiary of that money will be the Internal Revenue Service. Is that what you intended when you set this up? Now think about it. Just do the math, guys. It's easy. If they have even 200,000, what are they doing away with right now under the Secure Act? They're getting rid of the stretch. And they're going to get rid of it completely. And by the way, I've always argued this. Will you have some fun with me? Tell the absolute truth answer. Even if we kept the stretch, and your kids were going to inherit 200,000 of IRA money, and they had a choice of stretching it out over their lifetime or taking it in a lump, what do you think they're going to do 90% of the time? They're taking the money. Doesn't matter what the law is. You have to get this, you guys. They're taking the money. So that means, watch, 200,000, 40% is $80,000. That leaves 120. If you have 2 kids, that means they each get 60. The primary beneficiary of that money was the Internal Revenue Service. You okay with that? No. You going to leave it like that? No. What are you going to do? Now, did you see what I did? Please, how many people less than 5 years in the business? Raise your hands for me. Did you see what I did? I didn't offer to help him. Did you see that? I really did. I waited till he asked me to help him. Do you know why? Because now I'm no longer a salesperson, which I never want to be. I'm an advocate. I'm an advisor. I'm a counselor. I'm a resource. That's what he wants me for. He doesn't want me to be a salesperson. He wants me to be his resource. That's what he wants. That's what you guys all are. You can ask these questions. Nobody knows about all of these questions. It's just hilarious. Please, you have to understand, I have hundreds and hundreds. I got new ones I'm working on. Listen to this. Friends don't let friends buy and hold. Did you know that? See, you laugh. If you can get somebody to laugh, can you start a conversation with them? Baby boomers, listen, I saw a headline. Did you know that baby boomers are more prepared for dying than they are for living? Isn't that amazing? Wouldn't it be great if you could prepare for living so you could enjoy the rest of your life? Here's one I'm working on right now. I'm still messing with it a little bit. But I walk up to people and I say, Michelle, please, I'm an insurance and financial advisor. I tell people right away. I say, I'm working on trying to do a better job. Fall on my sword a little bit. And gosh, you would really help me a ton if I could ask you a question so I could see what you'd respond. It would help me to help more people. Would that be okay? Do you think anybody would say no to that? Because what do people want to do? They want to help other people. So here's the question. What would you be willing to pay to make sure that your children and your grandchildren would be safe forever? Whatever it takes. Now, 10% of the people will say, I don't care. No. That's good. Because then you don't spend an hour trying to sell somebody who's not going to even do anything. There's nothing more debilitating to an agent than to give presentations to people who aren't going to do anything. You want to be in front of people who say, whatever it takes. So watch the answer. This is the answer I'm messing with. I'm still messing with it. What if all you had to do is give me 45 minutes of your time, and all I was going to do was ask you a series of questions that would help you figure out how you could be in control of taxes, benefits, inflation, volatility, and longevity. If you could figure out how to be in control of those the rest of your life, and that would help your children and your grandchildren to be safe forever, wouldn't that be worth 45 minutes of your time instead of you paying everything? See, what you're doing is that's that juxtaposition again that Ben Feldman taught us. Do you want to pay everything, or can you just give me 45 minutes of your time? See how cool that is? Do you like it even a little? Little? Here's another great question. I got to go fast because it says I only have an hour and 28 minutes left. I love you guys. Thanks. This is going to be the hottest mother of all time. Is there somebody at the local nursing home that you're so madly in love with that you've decided that you want to leave them all your money? Then why are you going to do that? Do you know that it's so scary for Americans to find out that it'll only take 6 months to a year to destroy everything they spent their whole life saving? What if there was a way we could just reposition some assets and we could use leverage to protect that from happening to you? And here's the best part, because this is why most people don't take advantage of this. What if you didn't ever need money for long-term care and we didn't waste 1 single cent on premiums? Wouldn't that be spectacular if you could cover that without wasting any money? So when do you want to get started? Before you go into nursing home or after? Do you get where I'm going, you guys? It's always, I'm asking a commitment question. Here's a couple of more. You guys, when the government needs more money in the future, will they get that money from the 90% of Americans who don't have any money or the 10% who do? So let me ask you something. If you're one of the 10%, are you going to let them just come and take it? Or are you going to take advantage of this opportunity while you still can? Will you help me really quick, really quick? And watch his answer, because I'm going to ask him, do you think the government is stupid? They aren't, are they? They know we have products that once you put the money in those products, they can never get their hands on that money ever again. That's why we have a PAC. That's exactly right. But let me ask you another thing. Because they're going to need a lot more revenue, is it going to be much longer that they're going to allow us to have products like that? So wouldn't this bring up the final most important question? Isn't it then true that the only people that will be allowed to have products like that are the ones that already have them? So which one do you want to be? Do you see, it creates sense of urgency without being a used car salesman kicking the tires. It's just by asking the questions. I don't tell anybody anything. Here's another one. If somebody snuck up behind you on a periodic basis and they put their hand in your wallet or your purse, would you ever try to stop them? Of course, but yet you let the Internal Revenue Service, Wall Street, and the banks put their hands in your wallet or your purse all the time. What if there was a way that you could take money out of this pocket and you could put it into this pocket, and it's a specially designed pocket. It's a really neat pocket. This pocket only allows for you, your family, and your business to ever get their hands in that pocket ever again. If you knew you could design a pocket like that, when would you want to get started? Do you see, it's about simplification. It isn't about showing your illustrations and stuff. I live about a block from Northwestern Mutual, and they come in every year in July. Next year they're coming in August. You know why they're coming in August? Because their Democratic National Convention is in Milwaukee. I'm going to see how many of them I can get drunk and convert them to Republicans. Just laugh. So, I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with Northwestern Mutual agents for the 5 days they're in town. And we're standing on a street corner in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on Wisconsin Avenue in front of the Pfister Hotel. And the guy from Northwestern Mutual is being a jerk. You know, that happens sometimes. Come on, you can laugh. And he says, Van, you make all this money, you're buying lunch. I said, man, I never buy lunch. I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. See that guy over there in the street corner? If I get an appointment with him, you got to buy lunch. If I can't get an appointment with him, not only will I buy you lunch, I'll pay you $20. He said, man, you're on. Now, the first question I want to ask all of you is, why did I do that? What was the word of the day? Practice. One of us is going to buy lunch, might as well practice. I walk up to the guy. I said, hi, my name's Van Mueller. I'm an insurance agent. And this guy over here is from Northwestern Mutual. He's here visiting our city, and he's being a jerk to me. So I said to him, he said, I can't get an appointment with you, and I bet him I could. He said, really? I said, please, you're going to laugh. I want to ask you 4 really amazing questions. The third question's from outer space, and the fourth question's a trick question. And I think you'll actually thank me for asking these questions. Come on, it'll be fun. It'll take 30 seconds. Would it be okay? What do you think he said? Why? Because he wants to know what the hell the questions are. You know, you pique his interest. So the first question was, do you think there's going to be another financial catastrophe like 2007 and 8 again? Just yes or no. That's what he said. I said, remember in 2007 and 8, 14 million people lost their jobs, and this time they expect as many as 20 million people to lose their jobs in our country. Here's the question from outer space. Really think about it. Don't lie to me. I really need to know the answer. And I set it up like that. I really need to know the answer. If you lost your job for 30 years, would that harm you and your family? Oh yeah, that's what they say. Then I say, here's the trick question. Really, really think about it. Ready? I'm doing it exactly as I do it. Ready? Isn't that retirement? If you retire at 65 and you live till 70, am I going to have any problems planning your retirement? No. But if you retire at 65 and you live till you're 95 and you run out of money when you're 72, and by the way, isn't 72 the new 52? Aren't 72-year-olds doing what 52-year-olds used to do? What would the rest of your retirement look like? Be pretty bad, wouldn't it? What if we could show you a way? No cost or obligation. Watch. No cost or obligation. I say it all. I'm not even going to try and sell you anything. All I'm going to do is ask you some questions that allow you to clarify in your own mind how you never have to worry about that again ever as long as you live. I only need 45 minutes of your time and I'll make you a deal. When I'm done, you'll be so pleased with the information that you will actually walk me to my car and hold my car door open for me. Fair enough? And I get the appointment all the time. It's the giggles. It's laughing and having a good time because this is supposed to be fun. And remember, guys, I'm shy. Some of you have amazing personalities. And if you would please watch what I'm going to say to you. I'm not cutting you down. Instead of making the personality be about you, transfer the personality to the prospect or the customer. You would become so ridiculously powerful, it would be a beyond understanding. Here's another one. I walk up to people all the time, young lady, will you help me? Do you have enough confidence in your current advisor to get a second opinion? Just yes or no. I'll see you tomorrow at 7. Now say no. Do you have enough confidence in your current advisor to get a second opinion? So you probably lost some money during the last downturn, didn't you? What if there was a way to guarantee that you'd never lose any money ever again? Better than that. What if every time we have one of these bad events, you could sit down in your basement in the dark and go like this? Because you'd be so excited waiting for it to happen. Gosh, come on, wouldn't that be at least worth 45 minutes of your time? Can I see you in the next couple of days? Do you get... Please, I want to catch you something here. Notice every time I say at the very least, I don't say, oh, this is the greatest thing of all time, oh, you got to do this. They're so used to hearing that from everybody. All I'm asking them is, come on, at the very least, wouldn't that be worth 45 minutes of your time? Come on. Wouldn't you want to know that? Do you want to walk around anymore not knowing that? See, that's what we teach. Here's another one. In the mall, I walk up to people in the mall. Never to a single male with a child or a single female with a child. That's creepy. But we have a mall in Milwaukee called the Southridge Mall, and they have a choo-choo train on the lower level, and I go and eat lunch there every Wednesday when I'm home. And I see families come up, and they drag their little kids, and they put them on this choo-choo train screaming and crying, going 1 mile an hour, and they want to get a picture. And I walk up and I say, hi, my name is Van Miller, and I'm an insurance and financial advisor. You have an amazing family, and before you say anything, if you think this is an intrusion, I apologize, and I'll get out of here right away. In fact, I'd even buy an ice cream if you consider this for you and your family, if you consider this an imposition. But God, I made a deal with myself that when I saw an amazing family like yours, I wanted to make sure anybody asked you this one question, and then I'll get out of your hair. Would it be okay? See, again, what do they want to know now? What the question is. See, that's the setup. That's the fun. And can you imagine? Look at all the amazing women in this room. If you walked up to that couple and said, please, I really, really want to ask you a question because we're really worried about this with everything that's going to happen in our country. Here's the question. Will you help me? Do you think it's fair that when one parent dies, and there's not enough money, that the children should end up losing both their parents. When the children are grieving, do you want them to grieve with the parent that's left or with a babysitter? And then I look at them and I say, I'm going to pretend you're the husband, okay, Cheryl? No, it's the, but then I look right at the husband and I say, here's the deal. Isn't the hardest job in America a single female parent who doesn't have enough money? So if there was an easy way that you guys would never have to worry about that, an inexpensive way, so you wouldn't have to worry about that, wouldn't that be worth at least 45 minutes of your time? I promise. I'll just ask you a series of questions that will help you clarify how to do that, then I'll get out of your hair. Would that be okay? Now, do you know, a lot of you that are newer in the business, you know why you're wondering to yourself, why does that work? Because they can fend you off when you're not in their home or their business. When you're in their home or their business, you're a guest. Or when they make a decision to come and visit you in your office, they've made a decision, they've already made a commitment that they're going to at least hear you out. And so if you ask great questions, you're going to win. Last one. That's all I got time for, and then I got to go to what I want to show you, because I waited till the... Question number 30. This is the most important question of all. When you go get these questions, I have asked this question 25,000 times, and I have never had anybody say no to me, ever. Now, that's quite a declaration, isn't it? And every time we teach it to agents go and ask the question. I had one agent, he got embarrassed. He said, Van, I asked it, and they said right away yes, and I started to laugh, and they asked me what the hell was so funny. He said, I was so nervous, I didn't realize. He said, every time we ask it now, we get an appointment. Let me ask you something. Anybody interested in a question like that? You walk up to every grandma and grandpa in America, not seniors, not old people, grandma and grandpa. Michelle, if I could show you a way to stay in complete control of your money until you took your last breath, but instead of giving that money to the government, a nursing home, or a hospital, you could keep that money in your family for generations to come. Come on, at the very least, wouldn't you want to know how to do something like that in these uncertain times? And what are the two key parts of the question? If I could show you a way to stay in complete control, what's the most important word? Control. Americans feel like they're losing control. Second part. If I could show you a way to stay in complete control of your money until you take your last breath, but instead of giving that money to the government, nursing home, or hospital, you keep the money in your family for generations to come, what's the most important word there? Now, don't talk about grandchildren. See, that's another mistake we make. What if they have a grandchild that has spiked hair where you touch your hand on their hair and your hand bleeds? And they have a railroad spike through their nose and tattooed on their chest that says, we hate old people. Are they leaving them any money? But how'd the Kennedys stay wealthy? They kept the money in the Rockefellers. How'd they stay wealthy? They kept the money in the family. Family is such a big power word. And we use it with even poor people. We say, man, if you only got $30,000, what if we could make 30,000 look like 60? Isn't that how the Rockefellers got wealthy? They turned and figured out how to, keep this money in the family. Wouldn't that be amazing? See, it works with everybody. Those are the words. The words matter. So, I promised you something. It says exactly right here, 14 minutes. 14 minutes. I'm going to say a swear word. Edit it out when I do this. Call the guy. I'm going to show you. What do I do once I get there and make the presentation? Don't you want to know that? Okay. Call the guy on the phone. I said, hi, this is Van Mueller. I was referred to you by, and he goes, oh my God, another one of you assholes. Now, tell the truth. Have you ever had anybody talk like that to you on the phone? Bet your life you have. Don't lie to me. You have. You know what I said back as fast as I could? How do you know whether I'm a big one or a little one? And he laughed. And then I said, please, the obvious next question. What the heck did somebody do to you that would make you talk that way to a stranger on the phone? And he said, man, I've had 8 or 10 of you people here. I don't have a clue what you do. That's what he said. I said, oh my God, thank you so much. Remember what I told you earlier this morning? Professionals never get offended, ever. I didn't get offended. I searched for why he was talking to me that way as fast as I could. I said, I'll tell you what, if you give me 10 minutes, I can come over and show you exactly what I do. And if I take longer than 10 minutes, I'll pay you $100. Fair enough? He said, come ahead. I get there to his house, I knock on the door. I go see people at their houses and their businesses because I don't like sitting around in the office. So I walk in and you do the warm-up. You find a piece of furniture. Oh, is that a great sofa? Man, 7 slip covers. I've never seen that before. That is amazing. Shag carpeting. When did that come back? You walk over to the wall. There's a picture wall. Oh, is your daughter beautiful? He goes, that's not my daughter. That's my son. They sit you down at the kitchen table. They say, would you like a cup of coffee? I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. I don't have a clue what it tastes like. But man, if they offer you juiced rutabaga, you ought to take it. So I've learned I struggle with my weight a lot. It fluctuates, no kidding, between 250 and 300 pounds all the time. So when I'm in a home, I say, could I please have a glass of water? So he gives me a glass of water, and then he says, okay, why are you here? And I said, well, here's the deal. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And if you answer the questions honestly, you will know whether I can be of any service to you. Now watch the transition. This is important. But more importantly, if you answer the questions honestly, I'll know whether I can be of any service to you. See, I'm not there to fool around everybody, and I want them to know that, and I don't want to be arrogant or egotistical. You do, what you promised me, and I'll make sure it's worth your while. And that's what I just told them. So I said, start your watch. Here's the 5 questions. This is how you do LEAP, be your own banker, bank on yourself, circle of wealth, all of these bombers in 5 questions. First question should always be the number 1 question. It is your competitive advantage. Guys, answer me as a group. I got to go faster, or you got to sit here until I'm done. Do you think taxes will be higher in the future? Yes or no? Do you think it's possible taxes could be way higher with all the money we're going to need for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the Unaffordable Care Act, Homeland Security, defense, interest on the debt, all of those things? Now watch, this is called a commitment question. We don't do it enough. I looked at the guy and I said, you've had 8 other advisors here. You have an accountant. You have an attorney. Ready? Not one person has ever asked you the question I'm about to ask you. Are you ready? You ready? Do you want to pay those taxes? Did he just buy? Answer me. It only took a few questions because I made him commit. You assume people don't want to pay taxes. Stop assuming. Ask the question. Make sense? Do you want to pay those taxes? He said no. Second question, do you think benefits will be lower in the future? Higher deductibles, higher premiums, more out of pocket? Can I ask you something? Doesn't that mean a lower standard of living for you and your family? Yeah, it does. Are you okay with that? So let me ask you something. When do you want to replace those lost benefits, before or after you lose them? Before. Oh my God, fabulous. That's a second commitment question. Third question, if taxes are higher and benefits are lower, is that going to be enough to fix everything in our country? So the government's going to have to print more what? And that's called inflation. Now, sometimes the customer will stall because they don't know the answer. So you never embarrass a customer, ever. You look at them and you say, can I ask you something? Isn't that inflation? See, you always help them. You never embarrass a customer. All the jokes are at your expense. All of the stuff is on you. So, may I give you an example? If you retire at 50, 65 years old with your wife, and we have just 7% inflation, and I purposely chose 7 because it fits easily into the rule of 72. But you want to hear something amazing? From 1978 to 1990, we never had less than 7% inflation, not one time for 14 years. 78 to 1990. Have we printed more money than we did back then? Are we artificially controlling this inflation? And is it possible that the government could lose control of inflation? Answer me. Okay, so here's the deal. If you retire at age 65 on $50,000 a year of income as a couple, and you have 7% inflation, by the time you're 75, you'll need $100,000 to have the same standard of living you started out with at 50. And if you live till 85, you'll need $200,000 to have the same standard of living you started out with at age 65. Here's my question. You're not working anymore. How are you going to offset inflation? What's Warren Buffett's #1 rule of investing? Come on, you only got a couple minutes left. Never lose any money. What's rule number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Never lose any money. And second, if you understand what I'm doing, showing you how to use cash value life insurance, can you take advantage of investment opportunities every time they present themselves without ever losing any money first? Can you take advantage of eventually moving that money into higher interest rates if we have high interest rates again? I still have people from the year 2000 that are making 5% on the annuities I sold them in 2000. They think I'm brilliant. I lucked out. I didn't know any of this was going to happen. That's another thing I'd like to show you tomorrow is how to ladder annuities. God, you can't write this stuff up fast enough. We're in such a perfect place to serve the American people. Fourth question, if we have higher taxes and lower benefits, government's going to print more money. That's called inflation. Isn't that going to cause, watch, I stand up at their kitchen table and I do this. More and more volatility. I say, let me ask you something. Isn't it happening faster and faster? Gosh, if you make a mistake, could you lose some money? If you make 5 mistakes, could you lose everything? So what's your strategy to not be hurt by the bad volatility, and how can you take advantage of the good volatility? Got a strategy for that? We do. We'll show you how to do that. And finally, we never used to consider this to be something, but now Americans are living longer than ever. In fact, the guy that trains all of us, Tom Hegna, he not only calls this a risk, he calls this a risk multiplier. And that's the longer you live, the more you're going to have to reconcile higher taxes, lower benefits, inflation, and volatility. And so we have to plan. If you retire at 65 and you live till you're 70, we don't have a lot of work to do. But if you retire at 65 and you live till you're 95, how are we going to make sure that you can survive, live in dignity, take care of everything you need to do? And I said to the guy, I said, how long has that been? He said, well, that's been about 6 or 7 minutes. I said, I'm not finished yet. Don't stop the clock. I looked at him and I said, this is very important. I forgot what I said. No, I'll get it. I know. I said, do you know most Americans consider everything we just talked about as challenges? What if, for the rest of your life, because you strategized over these issues, that not only would you not consider them challenges, you'd consider them opportunities for the rest of your life? Wouldn't that be amazing information? He said, yes. I said, now please stop your clock. He had given me 10 minutes. It took me exactly 8 minutes to do the presentation I just did with you. When I got done, he said, Van, that's the first time I've ever understood anything you people were talking about. He said, I have a question for you. Are you guys ready? He said, is there any limit to the amount of money I'm allowed to give you? I was there for 8 minutes. He gave me $850,000 in 8 minutes. And the reason was not because I was charming or interesting. It was the first time he understood what he could do. Do you get it, you guys? It isn't about us. It's about making sure they understand. That's what changed my career. Can I ask you another thing before I close this afternoon? This is really important. Will you tell me something? You invited me, so tell me the truth. And thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate being here. Tell me the truth and tell them. Does it look like I'm having a good time?
You're having a great time, Dan.
Is it? Wouldn't that be the way to live your career, where you're just laughing and giggling, and then for some unknown reason they give you a whole bunch of money? This is supposed to be fun, everybody. This is supposed to be joyful. We're helping people. We're reaching out and saying, hey, you can be in control. You don't have to be bothered by anything anymore. We'll help you. That's what I do now. That's not what I did for the first 16 years I was in the business. I got a second chance that I don't deserve. Please, I'm telling you, I will continue to do these kinds of talks for the rest of my life. I owe this industry. I owe all of you. There's people in this room that I adore. Just adore. When I grow up, I want to be like them. No, I'm not kidding. I'm proud to say that. I don't want to ever arrive. I don't want to ever get there. I love the journey. That's what I'm hoping that you're hearing as you're listening to me do this. This is supposed to be fun. We matter. We're at the right time, at the right place. We have the finest products we've ever had. We have the most educated sales force we've ever had in the history of our business. And yet, we're struggling to make it work. And it's because, forgive me, we've been trained as an industry very poorly. Nobody is impressed when we tell them stuff. People are magnificently impressed when we ask them stuff. It shows we're interested in them, that we really want to hear their answers, and we really want to hear their opinions, and we really want to help them accomplish not what we think they should accomplish, but what they really want to accomplish. They're looking for somebody like that. They love you. I have people call me all the time and ask if they can buy a sofa. I'm not kidding. I'm so ingrained in their families that they don't make financial decisions without including me in. It's an amazing, amazing life that I got a second chance to have, and I'm hoping, this is not hoping, I know for certain. Everybody in this room is smarter than me. It took me 16 years. I'm hoping it'll take you one more morning of being with me, and you're going to go off out there prepared with a whole pile of questions, and you're going to ask and inspire people to take action. Let me tell you something that's really pertinent with the NAIFA meeting being here in Orlando. I talk about this story all the time, and then we're done. This will only take about a minute to tell you. Kevin Mayhew, the head of NAIFA, he will be speaking here tomorrow. He's a lovely, wonderful man. He has a bar in downtown Orlando. It's a really cool bar. If you get a chance, go. It's fun. Amazing people, amazing booze. You know, booze can be amazing. About 2 blocks from where his bar is the nightclub where 2 years ago in June, a gunman walked into that nightclub and started killing our children. And I'll never forget it as long as I live. I get up in the morning and I watch all of the morning programs. Today, Good Morning America and CBS This Morning. And I was watching the Good Morning American segment, and they had on one of the kids. Listen to how brave this kid was. 3 times while the shooting was going on, he went into that nightclub and pulled out friends who had been shot. 3 times. And if you see how they do the morning shows, they were really beating on this kid. Oh, you're such a hero. You're so amazing. And he's sobbing, crying, can't catch his breath. And you have to understand, I'm old now. I'm sobbing and crying, watching him beat this kid up. See, I cry at Star Trek now. I mean, I'm really emotional. And they keep badgering, oh, you're such a hero. You're so amazing. And finally the kid goes like this. Are you ready? He goes, gosh, I wish I could have done more. I get the chills every time I say it. That's how you have to leave this meeting, don't you see? You want to be better and bigger and stronger. You want to leave this meeting saying to yourself, I wish I could do more. I wish I could help all the people I come in contact with. That's what makes for a spectacular, wonderful, lovely career. And please, I know you say, how would he know this? But that's who all of you people are. I'm so proud to be part of this organization, and I'm proud that I'm kind of an adopted member, a non-paying adopted member of the Florida NAIFA. But thank you for having me, and have a great afternoon.